So that's Lex, who's wearing his new helmet. Ellie is showing him how the Argo works in this high water. What's scary about that? Wow, look at that. That is an amazing machine. That Argo is just remarkable. So in case you're wondering why Lex is wearing a helmet, he's doing that because he's trying to get ready for football. And you have to start, oh no, Chia, don't do, oh Lord. I don't normally start videoing this early down the driveway, but I want to show you how clean and how beautiful everything is through here. And this is after all this was covered in water 2 weeks ago. Now, I normally start my videos right about here. So you can tell there's been nothing over here eating on this pasture. Look how everything's all grown up. And in fact, you can't have stuff over here now because it's still, well, it's wet. And there's still fencing that's down that has to be addressed at some point. We've got the fence over here on this side already put back, but we still have issues over on this side that we will get to. It's just hard, friends. It's just hard to do everything. So all we have on this particular pond pasture are the ducks and the geese, and it's just still hard to do anything over here. You can't do anything over here. Well, look at this, y'all. I can't believe what I'm looking at here. I'm gonna go behind the barn and try to zoom in a little bit and show you. Guys, this is, I know. All right, I'm not trying to, I'm torn. Hi. Y'all need to hush it up while I'm making my video, okay? Y'all are mad because you gotta share your stall with some duckies. I get it, okay. We're talking about this over here, friends. That's cute. Megan has her a kiddie pool over here. Friends, all right, this is what I'm looking at. I'm gonna try to zoom in for you. This entire hill was covered with water 2 weeks ago. You all know that Jake got water in his home. Brienne got water all the way up underneath hers into her insulation. Mom and Dad got water in their home. All of my dad's shop over there, both of his little pavilion area and his tool room had water damage. And then our barn dominium, of course, had lots of water damage. The river finally goes down, and if lo and behold, it doesn't come right back up again. And it's going to come all the way up to this back berm. We've already got the projections on how high the water is going to get. That means that all of Jake's animals will have to be moved out of there. All my dad's animals have to be moved off his pastures back to the front again. Brienne's horses are going to have to share with cows. And so it's not going to cover the hill, but it's going to put such a strain on everybody who has structures like barns and shelters and everything else over there. Fencing is going to tear all the fencing up again. Uncle Dan and Lou will have to move their animals up closer to the hill. And so all the fencing repairs that people have been working on, And so I'm going to ask you a question, and I'm going to say, please be polite and think about what you're going to say before you say it. And we can absolutely agree to disagree. But when is enough enough? At what point do you say enough is enough? I'm going to tell you something, and I'm going to give you a little bit of history here. And this is nothing new. I've said this exact same thing to you over and over and over. That growing up, we had one flood that covered this hill. It was in 1994. One flood, 1994, that covered this hill. Since then, 2017, we had Hurricane Harvey. Everyone knows Hurricane Harvey was a once-in-a-lifetime flooding event. It covered the hill. And then we had, boy, I tell you what. And then after Hurricane Harvey, you think, okay, so 1994, and then you had a Hurricane Harvey experience. Okay, fine. Yet, 2018, 2019, 2000 whatever, 2024. And guys, and here it comes again. Do you not realize at what point do you have to understand that this is the new norm? River flooding across Morrow Hill is the new norm. And you may not want to admit it. You may hate to have to talk about it. It may break your heart. Nate, do you mind? I'm having a serious conversation here. It might break your heart having to hear about it. But when do you say enough is enough? Well, that's not very nice, Nate. When do you say enough is enough? And then, if it's family land, it's land that has been in your family since the Civil War, at what point do you say it's been a wonderful blessing to have, land passed down from father to son through generation after generation? But at what point does it come to the, okay, Angel, do y'all mind if I'm making a serious video? How about y'all give me a chance to make me one serious video? Because we're having a serious conversation over here, and it's kind of serious. I would like y'all to, oh my goodness. Well, there's our bearded lady. Hi, bearded lady. You old bearded lady. There's nothing serious anymore. Hi, Ziggy. So I'm asking you, friends, when is it okay to say enough is enough? And then, what do you do? What do you do when you realize? What do you do when you realize that, this is not good? And at some point, things have to happen, because it's going to happen. This flooding is going to continue to happen again and again and again, because it is the new norm. We're going to talk more about this. If you were going to build new here, then you would say, okay, well, I have a piece of property that floods. It's been known to get a little bit of water across it. So despite fencing issues, any new construction has to be built up high and on stilts, right? We know plenty of people who build their homes up nice and high and on stilts. Hey, folks. Well, guess what? You guys, you can't raise barns. You can't raise homes like my parents' home that's already been built on a slab. You can't raise the barn dominium. You can't raise homes that have already been built on foundations. You don't just somehow up and raise your home several feet. Not when you have a split level home built on it's. So that's going to be the easy. Yeah, that's what y'all will say. That will be a whole lot of the easy answer. Oh, well, you just raise everything up. Just raise it up. You don't raise up. Some structures you can't raise up. How are you going to raise up your carport? How are you going to raise up your vehicles, your trailers, your tractors? How are you going to raise? How are you going to keep raising? And then what about your animals? You don't raise up your pastures. You don't raise up your barns. You don't have floating. When is enough, y'all? And what do you do? Seriously, I would love to have a video of real talk, like real talk, y'all. Well, one thing is for sure, everybody needs to have themselves an Argo. You all saw what a blessing this thing was during all the most recent flooding. What a godsend that we brought this thing over here when we did. It has gotten a lot of use here with all of this rain. Now I'll show you something. We had standing water up to here with the most recent rain. All of this pond had come all the way to here. It's saturated here all the way around. And so all of this is new. This is new. And that's a lot. Now, there's some stuff that's already from the past flood. And so I've been talking to Ellie and Megan, and I just don't know, friends. This is all stuff that they stood all the fencing back up. But look, it's going to happen again and again and again. And so I would just love to have, I don't know if you can have a serious talk, because some people are going to be torn between it's family land, and the golden rule with family land is you don't sell it. I don't know if y'all have ever heard that or not, but we don't sell. Morrow land is not for sale. You can pass it on to your children, which is what we plan to do here with Ellie and Megan. You know, and of course, my dad will eventually deed off land to me, and then I'll deed it off to Ellie and Megan, and we'll continue what's gone on for generations. But at the same time, how can I ever have Ellie and Megan start building things and taking their construction here and the farm serious when it's going to get flooded over and over and over? And that means animal evacuations over and over and over. I'll tell you one thing that I've preached. It was mostly done through Family Messenger after all the last fiasco with all the flooding. And I said, everybody who's going to live here in Plum Grove, and if you're going to have animals here, then every single person needs to have a way to evacuate their animals, a plan to evacuate their animals. We're blessed to have a location that can take them. Anyone can take their animals to JL or Longhorn Lester's. No problem. We're never going to question anybody who needs to take animals over there. But the problem is no one has a means. No one has the truck and the trailers and the resources, the loading pins. And so what you saw last time was a lot of scrambling, people trying to scramble last minute. Uncle Dan making, dangerous trips, and Jamie and I making dangerous trips, trying to get animals out of here. And so we'll do what we have to do. But that just cannot become your lifestyle, I don't think. That cannot become your norm. And if it is going to become your norm, then everybody needs to have a plan of action. They need to practice those plans of action, because you don't have much time. You never have much time. Hey, son. Hush it up, Rocky. All right, I'm going to have a conversation with Ellie. Oh, this your new rescue kitty?
Just showed up one day.
I know.
Meg gave it a bath this morning. It already feels so much better. Poor thing's seen better days.
I'm sorry, but what an ugly cat, Ellie. That cat's about as ugly as Chia right there. That's my personal opinion, but I love him.
It'll be beautiful in
I know.
Give it a month, it'll be beautiful.
All right, so let me ask you a question real fast, okay?
Yeah.
Walk to the front yard with me. All right, we've come to the front yard to sit in the shade. All right, so I'm making a video about 2 weeks ago. This entire hill was covered in water. You also know it was covered in water during, well, once in my lifetime in 1994. You weren't born then. But you experienced Hurricane Harvey with your dad, so you know it was covered with water then. You also know it was covered again in 2018, 2019, 2024. And if, lo and behold, if water's not coming up behind the house again. Have you seen it yet?
I haven't went and looked, but I've seen the graphs that show it's going to get high.
Yeah, and the worst thing is I had to go through water twice on the Plum Grove getting over here.
Really?
So here's my question to you. When do you say enough is enough? Because can you not see that this has become the new norm? If it was a once in a lifetime thing at first, it was once in a lifetime, once in a blue moon, however you want to say it.
Even once every 10 years.
Even once every, so many years. But what's going on now where we've had historic flooding, and as soon as it goes down, we get a little bit of rain and it comes right back up again. What do you do in the mind of a person who's, trying to make a homestead here? When do you think is enough is enough?
I don't know. I guess a factor of it is that I don't want to just leave the family behind and stuff like that. Not that like they need me here or anything like that, but I love being around family and whatnot. So I would hope that everybody would realize enough is enough and make a mutual decision. To live
So as a
somewhere.
family decision, you realize enough is enough, so the whole family goes together somewhere, you're saying?
Yeah, that'd be ideal if it was time to move. But I don't know. I guess I wonder why it floods so much. I wonder if
So I mean, everyone's going to probably have a different idea of why, but there'll be someone's going to scream global climate change. I'm not going to go with that. I'm going to say development across the street.
That's what a lot of people said in my videos, is that development is hindering God's natural drainage for the rivers and whatnot and stuff like that. And
I would agree with that, and I think that most people around the country and around the world have experienced what development can do to existing communities and how it can change everything. But that's what I'm saying. If this is becoming the new norm, and how much can you put up with when you have animals that you have to worry about, you have your home you have to worry about, you have your fencing you have to worry about, you have so much that's going to possibly be over and over, even every year, every couple of years, over. It's just never gonna, how can you put your mind at ease with all this pressure of what will Mother Nature do next?
It's a hard question to answer. I guess I know that you don't like me saying that.
Say whatever you want to say. I'm not judging. I promise.
In some of my videos, I've kind of downplayed like how serious the recovery effort was, and I know you didn't like when I said that. It's not that I was trying to diminish or take away from what happened, but I guess I was trying to put into perspective how blessed we are that our house didn't get water in it, that our pastures were able to have our animals back in it really quickly, and that, you know, everything wasn't like entirely destroyed the way it was during Harvey.
Yeah, so I agree with you. You count your blessings before you count your losses, and you've been very positive in counting blessings. I completely respect that.
And maybe I feel this way because I didn't get water in my house like some of the family did, but I guess I feel like even though it was nervous and stuff like that, like the losses that we suffered here, solely here, wasn't like too significant or too dire. And I know the barn dominium is a different story, but I guess I know I don't hold the same sentimental value for the barn dominium that you or Jamie would, so I know that probably feels like a bigger loss for y'all than it does for me.
So then my question to you is, would you feel differently if water had gotten 6 inches higher and went inside your house?
Absolutely, yeah. I think so, yeah. Because right now the biggest thing that was hard for me was seeing the animals stressed, having to be moved back and forth.
Yeah.
And, that's the one thing that that would be really hard for us to have to go through again.
I'm going to stop this video because I hear a fire truck over there, and people are going to be like, what's going on? We're all safe here, guys. Well, that was an interesting talk with Ellie. He talked about he is not opposed to the idea of making a change, except for the fact that he wants to change with the entire family. And I respect that. I do respect that, because who wants to see something that's been intact for all of these years dispersed into all different directions? But Mother Nature is a force that you have to deal with. But at what point do you say enough is enough? Guys, I look forward to reading your comments. I'm going to ask you politely, don't be mean to each other. If you disagree, that's just the way life is. We disagree. If you feel like, Lester, you're a sellout, you sold. I didn't sell nothing. I gave my home, I gave this little piece of property to my son. But now I'm realizing that, what have I done? I don't know, y'all. It's complicated. Let's have some discussions, shall we? At what point do you say enough is enough? And I'm not saying you throw in the towel, but in essence, you have to realize that if you continue to live here, this is going to keep happening, because this is, in fact, the new norm. Thank y'all for watching, and we will catch you guys on the next video.
Don't let your troubles fester. Come watch Longhorn Lester.
Yeah, something like that.